Released back in April of 2016, the Yamaha WXA-50 is Yamaha's wireless streaming amplifier. Built into it is Yamaha's MusicCast system, and this is very similar to how Sonos's ecosystem works, but essentially there's various devices that are MusicCast compatible, and they can all wirelessly stream to each other, and you can link them together using a Wi-Fi connection or an Ethernet connection. So I'm sure you noticed this is a much different environment than what we're usually in. This is actually my gym that I go to. I've been coaching here for 4 years now, and I help out with a lot of the technology here. So I'm trying new things out, trying to mix things up on the channel a little bit. So I'd really appreciate it if you guys would click the like button. But yeah, let's jump into things. The amplifier itself has a ton of different inputs on it, more than what most other mini amplifiers have, or at least amplifiers of this size. Of course, there's a power input, digital optical in, Ethernet. There's also an antenna if you want to connect it to Wi-Fi, RCA in, RCA out, subwoofer out, IR in, 12-volt trigger in and out, and of course there's 2 channels of speaker outputs. The power output for these 2 channels is 105 watts at 4 ohms, 70 watts per channel at 6 ohms, and 55 watts per channel at 8 ohms. There are a few different wireless input methods you can use for this amplifier. The first is Wi-Fi if you're using the application on your mobile phone or your tablet. Second, you can use Bluetooth. It's also AirPlay compatible, and you can use Spotify Connect to get the audio from Spotify or on any device to these amplifiers. All right, now that we've gone over the specs and the different ports available on the amplifier itself, let's talk about how these are actually used. So I've helped coach and assist with technology at this gym for the last 4 years or so. Recently, about 2 years ago, we moved buildings, and when we did that, I installed 3 of these WXA-50s. Essentially, we need to be able to link together 3 sets of speakers and have individual volume controls on each set of speakers. So there's a total of 6 speakers in the building, 2 for each area. Editor Joni here. So I realized that I didn't explain exactly why we need individual volume controls for each area and how exactly that works. So I want to explain that really quick. Basically, we need the ability for any coach inside the gym from anywhere to be able to control any of the areas. So all they have to do is pull up their phone, go to the MusicCast app, and volume down their area, and that makes it really, really simple. So if they're explaining a workout, explaining a technique or something, pull up the app real quick, volume down, explain the technique or the move. Once they're done explaining and everyone's moving, they can volume back up, and it's nice and seamless. The app works well, and it's a simple life for everyone. There's no volume control knobs and running wires we had to worry about. We didn't have to worry about trying to use the remote controls and extending IR receivers, nothing like that. So the phone works really well, and it's simple for everyone to use. Now that I've explained that, let's jump back into the video. The 3 different areas are a fitness area, which is right behind me right now, a kickboxing area, and a very large mat space. For each area, we used a set of black Yamaha NS-AW294 indoor/outdoor speakers, and these things work extremely well for the different areas. They provide plenty of volume, they sound good, they don't muffle out, they don't crackle at all, and in general, they provide enough audio for the entire gym. Even when there's a lot of people in here, there's people talking, people working out, things like that. The gym is a pretty open space. The different areas aren't sectioned off into rooms at all, so we do sync the audio across all 3 amplifiers and all 3 sets of speakers. If we were to try and play individual audio on each set of speakers, it would sound very discombobulating. Now again, we're using MusicCast to link these 3 amplifiers together, and what this allows us to do is to stream from Spotify from a single device to all 6 speakers or all 3 sets of speakers at the same time. And it makes it really simple for just about anyone to come in, start the music for the day, and control the volume levels for all 3 units in a single application. Let's talk about the pros of this system. Now, the first thing is that it's extremely easy to set up. Once you have your cables ran and you plug the amplifiers in, it took maybe a couple of minutes to get everything set up, and then I was able to link things together and kind of test things out. So it was really simple to set up, and I didn't have any issues at all. The second thing is that it's fairly reliable when you have a good Wi-Fi connection. It's even more reliable when you hardwire it to the network. Now, I've done a lot of testing with Sonos systems. So I will say that the Sonos Wi-Fi connection is a little more reliable than the Yamaha Wi-Fi connection, but in general, they both work extremely well. The third thing is, for the size of these amplifiers, they can output a ton of power. 55 watts at 8 ohms for these tiny little amplifiers is really impressive, and it does output a great sound quality. These amplifiers do have a good looking design. They are like a metallic silver and black, so it does look very clean. I think if you put it in a rack setting, it would look very nice and blend in very well with all the other equipment. Again, there are a ton of different input options on here. I mean, when you saw the back, there's so many different options for getting an input signal into the amplifier, so you really shouldn't have to worry about that at all. And the last thing is that these things are extremely durable. So we've been using them for almost 2 years now, and they're probably used 5 to 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. And that's way more than what the average person is gonna use one of these. So if these things are still running and they're working great, then I think if you're using it an average amount of time, it's gonna last you a very long time. Now that I've praised this system a little bit, I do wanna go over some of the cons and some of the issues that we experienced initially. The first major thing is that we did have some initial reliability issues. The Wi-Fi signal wasn't that strong starting out, so some of the older mobile devices didn't have the best Wi-Fi connection, and therefore they couldn't always detect the amplifiers in the MusicCast app. So once we increased the Wi-Fi signal strength, that seemed to solve most of the issues, but we do experience hiccups every once in a while. The second thing is that the app does have issues regardless of Wi-Fi connection. Even if you have an extremely strong Wi-Fi connection, you still could experience some problems there. You may have to restart the app, restart your phone sometimes to get it to recognize the system. So the app isn't the best, but when it is working, it works extremely well. And the final thing is that these things are very expensive. They are $500 a piece. So, they were released at $500 4 years ago, and they haven't gone down in price at all. This is similar to how Sonos does things as well. I think between the Sonos Amp and the Yamaha WXA-50, those are two very competitive units, and they both have very similar features as to how they work, what all they can do, etc. Overall, I'm very happy with how this system turned out. I'm very happy with how it works. There are people that use it every day, and they seem to be mostly happy with it as well. Of course, there are technology hiccups where they need to restart their app or restart all the amplifiers, things like that. But all technologies like that, nothing's gonna work flawlessly all the time. But for the most part, everyone enjoys the system and they're happy that we have it. That's all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like. If you didn't enjoy the video, click dislike. Tell me what you didn't like. Tell me what I can improve in these videos. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please click subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.